Hi guys, I'm BK. In this video, we're going to do a hands-on on domain-based routing in Kubernetes. If you are new to this topic, please watch this video till the end. Definitely this video will help you. And this is a repository, and you listen to this video. You get this repository link on this video description. Let's get started. What is domain-based routing? So domain-based routing is a load balancer. Okay, in Kubernetes, we can do a load balancing in a two different way. One is by using service.yml file. So there are three types are in service.yml. One is cluster IP, another one is load port, another one is load balancing. So if you are using this load balancing mode in service.yml file, you can integrate your Kubernetes pods with external load balancers, which is provided by cloud providers like AWS and Azure. Okay, if you choose this option, the cost will be high because this load balancer is provided by the external cloud providers. So which means the cost is huge. Okay, in Kubernetes, they are providing ingress. What's this ingress mean? So ingress, if you are using ingress, you can enable load balancing on your Kubernetes cluster. So how to do? Okay, so in ingress, there are types of load balancing. For example, in application load balancer, what application load balancer can do? By using application load balancer, we can do path-based routing, we can do domain-based routing, we can also do IP-based routing. Okay, these kind of thing we can do by using application load balancer. Today's video, we're going to do a hands-on on domain-based routing. What is this domain-based routing? For example, if you go to Amazon.com, the URL would be Amazon.com, www.amazon.com. Okay, but this is the domain, which is Amazon.com is a domain. Where to get this domain? In domain registers, what is called domain providers like GoDaddy and Amazon Route T3. So they all are the domain providers. You have to register your domain. For that, you need to pay some money. Okay, if you register a domain on those providers, you can get the domain name. Okay, now coming to the domain-based routing. Today, what we are going to do is we're going to create the two pod. So this is application 1 part. This is application 2 part. Okay, if any of my user using a URL called app.com, I want this request redirect to pod 1, which is application 1. If any of my user using a URL like app2.com, this request redirect to this app2 pod. Okay, this is the today's agenda, and let's get started. So this is our application app 1 and app 2. If I run this application, the application will be run on port 8081. Let me open. So this is called app 1 application. Okay, let me close this. And the app 2 application. So this is the app 2 application. If I open, here you can see app 2. Okay, let me so here you see app 2. And now what I done, by using Dockerfile, I created my application as a Docker image. Okay, here you can see. So if you are new to Docker, I have already posted a Docker series. So you get those series on this video playlist. Okay, and so once I created this Docker image, I pushed this Docker image into my Docker Hub. So this is my Docker Hub. Here you can see Bharati Kalai app 2 info to app 1. Okay. Now coming to this deployment.yml file. Okay. So deployment.yml file. Here I mentioned my Docker image. So this is the Docker image I already pushed in Docker Hub. Okay. The container port is 8081. So this is application 1. This is application 2. Okay. And here you can see I mentioned replica. So replica is 2. And this application 2 also replica 2. Okay. So first, let's create this deployment.yml file. So deployment.yml file already created. So let me delete this. Delete. So deleted. Okay. Now again I going to create by using kubectl apply -f. -f means I'm mentioning the file. The file name is deployment.yaml. Okay. So this is the file. So it is creating. Pod is creating. Let me check. Pod is created or not. kubectl get pods -o void. Here you can see it's running 13 seconds ago, and it is running domain 1. So we have 2 domain 1 application and 2 domain 2 application. Okay, let's log in into this Minikube cluster and let's check the application it is working or not. Minikube SSH. Okay, I'm going to copy this app to IP address. This is a cluster IP. I'm going to use a cluster, curl 8081. So application is running on 8081 port. So application is working fine. So I can see this app 2. So let's try application 1. This IP. This one L 8081. So app 1. So 2 application is accessible. Let me exit this. Now I need to create the service.yml file. So what service.yml file can do? We can do the load balancing and service discovery and expose our application. So here I mentioned 80, which is HTTP. Okay. So I want to access my application in outside the world in 80 port. Okay. So that is why I mentioned 80. Inside the Docker container port is 8081. So why I provided 8081? Here you can see application is running on 8081, and in my Docker file also I mentioned expose this application in 8081 port. Coming to service.yml. So I'm using cluster IP mode. So if you are using cluster IP mode, what will happen? You will the Kubernetes will created IP cluster IP. Okay. Now let me create this file as well. So service.yml file also creating. Let me check. kubectl CRBIC service -o void. Okay. And this is -o means output void. So I need more information. So that is why I mentioned here. You see I have 2 services. So this is a first service. The service name is domain app 1 service. This is domain app 2 service. Here I mentioned selectors app 1 and app 2. Go to this deployment.yml file. Here you see selectors is a app 2. Okay. Selectors app 1. So if you provide this selector, if you provide a deployment.yml for deployment.yml selectors in this service.yml, what will happen? It will do the service discovery by using this name. It checking the it find the pod, which pod I need to access. Okay. And service.yml file also created. Here you see cluster IP, because I created the service as a cluster IP mode. So that is why Kubernetes assigned me this IP. Okay. Now coming to ingress.yml file. Before that, you need to run this command. You need to enable ingress on your Minikube cluster. So this is the command: Minikube add-ons enable ingress. Okay, so once you enable this on your Minikube cluster, you need to run this service.yml file. In service.yml file, I mentioned the cluster IP and the selectors name. You see, app.1, app.2, ingress. So ingress, I mentioned app-ingress. This is the ingress name, and here I mentioned the service name. So you see domain-app1-service. Here also you can see this domain name -app.2 service. Okay, and also I mentioned the host. So I want to access, if I provided app1, I want to redirect to the pod1. If I provide this app2, I want to redirect to the app2. Okay, so path is / okay, and prefix, and this is a service. So this is the port is 80, which is HTTP. Okay, so once you provide this domain name, actually these configuration we are doing in our local. So if you do this in local, you need to do some modification on host. I'll show you. etc hosts nano. Here you can see. So this is your Minikube IP. Let me manage cube IP. You see 49.2, 49.2. So I provided, if anyone access this, redirect to this domain. If anyone access, and also here I just mapping my domain name. Okay, actually this is not the registered domain because we are doing this on our local. So on your local, if you want to, you don't need to register any domain. So here you can provide anything you want. Okay, because you can only access your application. Outside the world, not anyone access our application. Okay, now coming to, so once you configure this, you have to save this file. Then you need to provide the domain name here. Okay, now we're going to run this ingress.yml file. So ingress is also created. Let's check it is created or not. So ctl get ingress. So ingress is created. Here you can see the host. If you hit this, if you use this URL, let's see what will happen. See, app.1. So let's copy this, paste here. Let me change this app2. You see, app.2. So this is called domain-based routing, and yeah, this is it's enough. And if you found this video helpful, please do subscribe my channel, and I'll see you another video. Tada, bye bye.